Hi there, Richard Fulmer here, and welcome to another Richard's Rock Rambles debut albums. And this will be the final one for the debut albums for a while. I'll come back to it at a later stage. So today we're going to have a look at the New York band Blue Oyster Cult. Been around since '72, still going today, in fact. I think there was about an album that came out about 2 months back after quite a lengthy break. In fact, I thought they'd called it a day, and lo and behold, there was a new album, really good album as well. And we're going to have a look at their debut today, which came, as I said, all the way back in '72. It was recorded at the Warehouse in New York between 1971 and 1972, and released on January the 16th, 1972, on the Columbia label. That was a subsidiary of Sony. And there was one single from the album, Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll, which is one of their big hits, along with Don't Fear the Reaper and all the others. This was their early hit. So who was in the band? You had Eric Bloom on vocals, rhythm guitar, and keyboards. You had Albert Bouchard on drums and vocals, his brother Joe Bouchard on bass and vocals. And then you had Alan Lanier on rhythm guitar and keyboards, and Donald Buck Dharma Russa on lead guitar and vocals. Excellent guitarist. I think later on in his career, had his own signature guitar, styled, I think it was in a style of a piece of cheese with all these sort of holes in it. Strange looking guitar, but it really works pretty well. But this was in the early days. I think in the early days he was playing Fender SGs, and he was playing Strats, and then later on he had his own guitar. They were originally called, the band was known as the Soft White Underbelly. That was the original name, and then they changed it eventually to Blue Oyster Cult. So let's have a look at the album. There we go. I just love that cover. Very interesting cover. And that, I don't know if you can see that sort of cross thing there, that became their sort of signature, their sign, their brand, if you like. And there's a picture of the guys, the early days. Very interesting album. A lot of the lyrics in the songs have got to do with things like drugs, being busted at the border for drugs in some of the tracks, biker gangs. In fact, they had a big biker gang following, and I don't know if it was because of the lyrics on this first album, but that was, they had this huge following by the bikers, the Hells Angels and all the other guys. So what are the tracks on here? I mean, there weren't massive hits off this album. It's a very spacey album, very psychedelic rock. They get a little heavier after this, but for me, this is a great debut. It's a very interesting album. They were lumped in with people like Black Sabbath, but I think Blue Oyster Cult are always a little bit different. Very hard to actually pigeonhole. You know, they had their own sound. They had sometimes three guitars going, definitely the twin guitar attack, keyboards added to the sound. Really interesting band. Transmaniacon MC, that's the first track. I've got to get that right. I'm on the lamb, but I ain't no sheep. Interesting song titles here. The lyrics are even more interesting. Then came The Last Days of May. That's track 3. Very sort of atmospheric kind of track. Some great vocals from Eric Bloom. Eric Bloom and Donald Buck Russa, they were the main vocalists in the band. Stairway to the Stars, Before the Kiss, A Red Cap, Screams. That's a great track with a sort of haunting beginning. Some great lead guitar work from Donald Buck Dharma Russa. Excellent guitarist, very underrated in my book. She's as Beautiful as a Foot. As song titles go, that's pretty much up there with the weirdest that you can get. Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll. That was the big hit off here. Great riff. Quite a heavy track, probably the heaviest track on this album. And always a crowd favorite when they were live. Workshop of the Telescopes and Redeemed, which is kind of a mellow song, which I think they would redo later on in one of their more recent albums. There's also, on this particular CD, there are 4 bonus tracks. And these bonus tracks come from the days when they were still called Soft White Underbelly. Donovan's Monkey, which is a demo. What is Quicksand, which is a demo. a fact about sneakers, and Betty Lou's got a new pair of shoes. As I say, crazy song titles to these guys. Let's see if anything I can show you inside. There's the whole story about the guys in the early days, how they formed, the original name of the band, how they all got together, where they got their song ideas from. I think that's Eric Bloom there with his motorbike. You can see the whole biker connection already. And there's all the lyrics to the songs, which helps because some of these songs are quite out there, the lyrics. I just remember reading some of these earlier. By Silverfish Impetrix, whose incorrupted eye sees through the charms of doctors and their wives. Yeah, not your average I love you babe kind of lyrics to these guys. And then if you look in the back of this, you can see that was the sort of symbol that they had on all their albums. So yeah, great debut album from Blue Oyster Cult from New York. They will go on to bigger things with albums like Spectres, Some Enchanted Evening, which was a live. There were 3 or 4 live albums that they brought out. Just a great band, very different sound. There's a couple of really nice live videos you can get as well. There's stuff on YouTube. There's a couple of DVDs, some more recent, I think from 2014 and 2016. One at the Hard Rock Cafe in LA, I think, which is a really good concert to check out. But as far as debuts go, this is a standout. If you want something different to your hard rock sort of catalog, these are the guys to go for. It's not just sort of in your face. There's a lot of subtleties in their music, which I always enjoyed. So there we go, Blue Oyster Cult, self-titled first album. I'll catch you guys again soon with some more interesting facts and figures from the world of rock and roll. Not too sure what we're going to dive into next, but rest assured it'll be something good. Take it easy out there. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers.